Hi everyone, it's Lynn from DevineCentral. Today I'm going to start a series of 4 videos on the courts and the Celtic Cross. Now this is something that I was asked to do by more than one person that's been watching my channel. And frankly, I had a really tough time doing this. I wanted to come up with something simple and uniform, and it's just not possible. We all have a different idea or our key phrases, our keywords for 78 cards in the tarot, and they're all going to be a little different. We also have, those of us that do Celtic crosses, we all have maybe a little bit different rendition of what those positions could mean. Then throw in a question that changes everything because of the context, and then we have 9 other cards that we have to combine with our court cards, and well, you get the picture. It's impossible. So what I'm going to do today, and I may modify this a little bit with the queens and then the knights and then the pages, but what I'm going to try to do is just lay out what I think they could mean. And I'm hoping that you'll just use that as a springboard to see if that makes sense for you and how you might alter or change that as you go through the Celtic Cross. Okay, so let me change cameras and I will be back with our Celtic Cross. Okay, you guys, I've pulled a question, and it is, I am starting a new job next week. How will it go? Okay, that's the question. There we go. And then I pulled at random 10 cards. Here are my kings over here. I am using the Everyday Witch deck, and I haven't really even looked at this, so I'm going to wing this with you guys. I want to start by saying let's review what we have here without the kings. Okay, I mean, just what do we have to work with? And by the way, I want to tell you that I switched over to Windows 11, and none of my recording or editing software is working the way it's supposed to. And I can't just stop doing videos. So these trails and things, I'm so sorry. I hope you can find it in your heart to like this video anyway, because that's how people find me. All right, so let's keep this really short and to the point because we have a lot of cards to go through, okay? All right. So, I'm starting a new job next week. How will it go? Okay. Well, the first thing that we have is the 4 of Pentacles. And it tells me that you have resources that are probably why you got the job in the first place. But you're a little worried about, sharing them right now. You're kind of being a little guarded and not really wanting to tip your hand because you don't know what other people expect from you. And that's understandable, when it comes to, a new job. But the fact is, my foundation, where did this job come from? And that is, you manifested that. Do you see the swirls up here? I mean, you actually got out there, you threw yourself up against the wall, and this is what stuck. And that's a great thing. So you know that you can expand. You know that you have the capability. Don't be afraid to show it. So you, in the past, the energy that's leaving is you had to come up with something. You had to make a plan. You had to figure out how you were going to move on in your life. And now that you've done that, and now that you've secured this job, now it's time for you to celebrate, right? This is what's on your mind right now, is saying, hey, I'm a little nervous about the people I'm going to be working with, but oh, wow, I've got some people I could celebrate with and have a good time with. And I think that as you come around the bend, I think that as you get into this job, what you're going to find is you had a calling for it. You were meant to be there. You were meant to be at that particular job. Okay, so what blocks you, okay? Or let's say this, what crosses you for good or ill, all right? We have the Page of Pentacles. This is about a new direction. So it can also be about messages. And then, of course, you can always pull other cards to find out what those messages are. But for the short and sweet of it, I look at these as a change of direction. And I'm thinking, you know what? You have to be open to the new normal that you're going to face in this particular job. So if that's an obstacle, maybe you're not going to be comfortable in the beginning with the new direction because you're not used to it. Let that be okay. Let those flutters in your stomach be butterflies, not nausea, right? All right. So For me, this card, the card number 7 is how can you screw this up, right? This is the world. This is about stepping out of one phase of your life and into another. And I really like the foundation plays really well against this card in almost every reading that I do. And I see this as not fully committing, not fully stepping out of the previous phase of your life and go all in the next phase. That is how you can sabotage it, by not giving it your all. What is the environment around you over which you have no control? Oh, you have got the 9 of Cups, my friend. This is all your dreams and all your wishes come true. Advice from Spirit. This is a message. See, it's another page. It could be a direction to me, or it could be it could be a message, and the message would have to do with the element of air, right? So the message is, it's standing your ground, be victorious, feel victorious. You may not be there yet, but you know what? Fake it till you make it. What's the other one on that I remember? You feel the fear and do it anyway, right? I mean, you've got to jump in. You've got to be there. It's okay. You will prevail. You just have to put the time and effort into it. Now, if you do nothing, if you don't do that and you don't, go all in, then what's going to, and you don't accept this new direction that they're taking you. What is the end result if you do nothing different, if you don't make a change? You're going to get stuck. All right, so now that we've got that down, now let's take a look at the kings. How can the kings affect or change us? Okay, so you are starting a new job next week. How will it go? All right, so the first thing that we have in the center is our King of Wands. Now, I will tell you this much. There's a gal named Lozzy. You can find her everywhere, but you can find her on YouTube, Lozzzy. I really like her rendition of the courts. She says kings and queens to her, right? Her intention, she sets, they are men and women. And not necessarily a king is a man and a queen is a woman. They are combined people. And she looks at the knights as action and the pages as messages. So, or we could say that the knights and the pages are attributes instead of people. All right, so for me personally, anytime I see a court card that comes up in the subject position, the current situation, to me, that is always a person, no matter which court card it is. So the focal point on this question, I'm starting a new job next week, how will it go? The first thing that we come up with is we have the King of Wands. This is telling me that a person with a creative passion is going to be leading you somewhere. And this is going to be, and he's very strategic, you can see that as well, because he's plotting and planning, but he's creating. And so you need to follow him. He's going to be the focal point of your life probably for the next 6 months, because he's going to probably be the guy that educates you. All right? And that I think is very important. Now, what if he falls in position number 2? Okay? What if he falls here? Well, we still have the intrepidation of standing up and sharing what you have, right? You're not quite comfortable showing everybody, everything that you are. But yet we have this King of Wands that is kind of our, he's kind of our obstacle. That could be somebody that is in that department that's coming in, that's new, or I'm sorry, this could be somebody that's coming, that you're coming into in this department, that he kind of rules the roost, and he is the creative one, and he is kind of the leader of the pack because he kind of forces that on other people. That's kind of his personality. So there's a good chance that you may end up running into him, and you would have good cause to sit back and let things fall where they may until you feel comfortable, showing your resources and showing what you bring to the table. Now, if this guy ends up falling in the foundation, how did you get here in the first place? This could have easily been somebody who met you in some other venue and decided that, you could be really, really good with this company. And he brought you over and he thinks that you are worth being there. It could also be the fact that it could be somebody with this personality, right? A gregarious, overbearing personality that somehow kind of forced you out of the last job. You decided this was not for you, right? So that could be as well. Now, if he is in the past position, this is the energy that's leaving. So this particular king could also have been, this could have been somebody that brought you in, and now he's going to step back and let you be in that department or let you be in that position and take it from there on your own. His presence will be leaving. He's not going to be as noticeable, and he'll be in the background. Or again, it could be that gregarious, creep from the last job that just forced you out, and lucky you, now you don't have to contend with that personality. All right, so if we put him up here, what is on your mind? That is my position here. What is on your mind? I think what may be on your mind, and again, if this were a person, and I don't see that as a person. I actually see that as a plotter and a planner and a creator, right? You've got some ideas. You know what's going on. You've got resources you can bring to this company. You just might not want to tip your hand yet, but man, can you already see, and you haven't even started there, and you can already see creative things that you could do for this position. And so that's why you're all excited about it, and you want to know how well it's going to go. All right. So the energy that's coming into play, what's the next step for you, right? It could be very well that plotter, that planner, that it could be following this guy. Somebody is going to take you under their wing, and they are going to show you how to create for this company, how to lead in your position. It could also, it could be the attribute. It could be the creative force within you is just going to come out and shine. And I see that as a real positive thing. It could also be, but I see how the cat is watching him so intently. I think it may be that somebody will be coming for you and will be leading you and mentoring you. So I think you have a good shot at a mentor coming your way. All right, so how can you sabotage the situation? Well, you can be the gregarious asshole that we talked about earlier, right? You can kind of step in before your time is due and try to take over everything, and or you can just let your passion maybe be too much for these people. Or this, you could hope that there are a lot of, great people that get along really well in this company, and you think, oh, I can jump in and be a part of that. Maybe they're not ready for that. So maybe what you need to do is sit back and watch how this thing goes, and maybe just wait to see what happens. All right. What is your position? What is the environment over which you have no control? Okay. We have the King of Wands in this position, right? It might be, you might not have the control over this position that you were hoping. You may not have exactly what you want. And so you kind of need to again, sit back and wait and see what happens. What is the advice? Find the passion. Let your creative self shine through. Be the leader that you are. Be willing to do everything that's being asked of you. Be willing to take that new direction, or to take direction from somebody and jump all in, and be the leader that you are. Okay, so what happens if he falls here? Again, it comes back to me as a person. This is someone who is going to be shaping your life in the next few months on this job. And I think that you could not be any luckier than to have that. Okay, so here's something I want you to know. I sat down in the beginning and I binge watched every video. I looked at, read every book. I wrote down everything I could find on every single position. I must have a page and a half on the King of Wands in my journal. And I'm talking about a single space typed pages. I had so much that I immediately, after a year of doing all this research, when I started, I immediately had analysis paralysis because I just had too much. So what I'd like to recommend is, and this comes from watching really good readers on YouTube, binge watching, that have a big following. And if you watch enough of their videos, they really only have a couple of different takes on each card. And that's what they use to come up. They have key phrases or keywords that they use for every single card. But then they let it go and they let their intuition take over. So like I said, this would be a person. But in some of these positions, right, it feels to me more like an attribute than it does a position, until I get here and it's like, oh, this is a person again. Okay, this is always a person for me because that's my intention. But if you do that, it's not going to hurt you to only have one or two renditions of each card. That's not going to hurt you because then as long as you're willing to open up your intuition and go with whatever you see in your head. But it sure is going to simplify your life. And other professionals do it, why not you? Okay, so let's move forward and look at the next thing, okay? All right. So we have the King of Cups. Now we're going to kind of move a little faster, right? Okay. So the King of Cups shows up. Again, for me, the intention, he is a person. And the King of Cups is about leading with compassion. This is a softer approach to something. So as you come into this company, you're going to run into a person that is a leader. He could be the head of your department, your manager, your boss. He could be the owner of the company. Whoever he is, I think you're going to recognize him because he's going to have a softer approach to things. And he's going to be very much the person willing to guide you gently and listen to you and help mold you. And I think this is such a wonderful thing. And this card alone, if that was the only card that came up in the whole reading, it would answer the question, your week's going to go fabulous, your first week on the job. All right, so if this person lands in the position of an obstacle, or maybe even, for good or ill, right? Somebody who can help or hinder, could go either way, right? Because this person can be a little flighty, he can be a little wishy-washy. Sometimes he's hard to understand where he's going with something, because he kind of talks from the heart. But he has a heart-centered approach to things. So I really think that you may have trouble understanding him. And I would warn you about that, to try to really listen and pay attention, because he might be one of those people where, he talks out of both sides of his mouth. That's kind of the way they do. All right. So how did you get here in the first place to this position? Well, I think that's, again, this could easily be just like we said with the King of Wands. This is somebody who saw something in you and brought you in the door, okay? And this is somebody who offered you an opportunity to learn from them, and they really want to lead you and guide you. If this is energy that's leaving, maybe you're leaving a really good boss, or maybe you're leaving a really good manager behind, and that's why you're a little nervous about, what's the first week in this company going to be like. If we see him, if he's on our mind, right? If this is our conscious thoughts and how we're moving, if it's in this position, it's someone else for me. If it's in this position, this could very well be an attribute for you. This could be, hey, you know what? My heart is in this. I'm getting flutters. I'm all excited. And this is a good thing. So this is kind of the next best thing, right? This is what's coming around the bend. And we have some good leadership that we should follow. And you can see here, he's got the telescope. This is maybe getting some help. Someone's going to mentor you and show you how to look down the road on this situation. Okay. How can you screw this situation up? Well, you know what? You know what? We have all kinds of things that we can go on, and a lot of it is the same. So let's move on. Let's just stay in the center now. Okay. So now we have this pesky King of Swords. Okay. So if this is a person coming in, this is what we're walking into. You need to know that you are going to be coming into a situation that's very disciplined. This is somebody who leads by example. He's very, very good at what he does. He's very smart, very strategic, and he likes things in order, and he likes things well thought out. Don't come to him with a problem unless you also bring a solution to him. That's what he likes, and that's how you're going to gain his respect. Now, it very well may be that as you come in the door, okay, he's going to be testing you because that would be his personality, right? You've got someone of importance in this company that is probably going to be testing you. Even if it's a coworker who is used to, ramrodding, or maybe he's had to do his job and your job because somebody walked out. And so it's going to be hard for him to let go and let you do things your way, which is exactly the good reason why you should hold back for now and see the situation through before you share all your resources. Okay, how did this thing start? Well, again, maybe you just didn't like the environment that you were in before, right? Or maybe you needed this. You needed some structure. What you came from was not structured, and you didn't see where it was going. And this company came along and he's like, wow, this guy could be a tough boss, but this could be a tough company to work for. But wow, I'm going to gain that structure that I need. And that's why I'm here. The energy that's leaving, well, maybe you came from a structured environment instead, and you're actually going to be coming into something with a little softer approach, right? You just never know. But this hardcore structure, discipline, environment, it's gonna lift, and I think that's going to also, not only is it going to lift your spirits, but I think it's also going to help you find that new direction that you need to be more creative and more passionate about what you do. Okay, so I talked about this. So the King of Swords in the position, what's on your mind? You're strategizing. You're thinking about what you need to do and how you need to be in this company. And I think these two bode very well together. Now, you may also realize from your interviews with this company that you are really going to have to step up. And what's the energy that's coming is you're going to have to get organized. You're going to have to get disciplined. You're going to have to develop a strategy. You're going to have to learn the strategy of the company. You're going to have to learn the owner of this company if you want to get through. Okay, so how can you sabotage yourself? Well, what's the shadow side of this card? The shadow side of this card is, not being organized, right? Not letting things go. What's the environment over which you have no control? Well, I think it's, again, the card, as it moves through, it takes its meaning with it. And I think that makes it so that we don't have to go through every single one of these. All right, so now we have the King of Pentacles. So what is this guy? What's your key phrase for this guy? See, I see the King of Pentacles card. It's hard for me to see him as a person. He is somebody who's made it. He's successful. He's already proved himself. Okay, and I don't see him as much of a leader as I do a mentor. I see him as somebody who's made it, and you can turn to him. I don't think he's going to go out of his way to help you, but he will protect you. I think the card for me stands for the security and the protection and the success that one gains after, living a long life. So I think that's the kind of personality, that's the kind of boss that you'll have. Now, in this particular deck, he's holding a glass of wine in one hand and a chocolate cake in the other. He's got a loyal dog next to him, and he's got the sacred cow on the other side of him, okay? The vines stand for growth. And I think that it shows that, again, what kind of a mentor, what kind of a an environment, I guess, that you're going to be going into. But so does this. What's the environment over which you have no control? In these two positions, it kind of shows you what the environment's going to be. What if he is an obstacle? Is that going to be a problem? Well, you know what? He may let you sink or swim, and he might have already told you that in the interview. You're going to have to come in this company, and I'm going to watch how you integrate yourself into this company. And that might have made you a little nervous and made you, want to just kind of tighten up and hang on to your resources for now. Okay. He might have been the one that brought you into this company. Maybe you were looking for safety and security in a job, and you saw this position as that job, that opportunity. And maybe that's why he shows up down here in the foundation. Okay. The energy that's leaving, again, just like all the other kings, this could be somebody that brought you in, but now they're going to be absent for a while, or they're going to be in the background. They're not going to be a big influence on you, but they're going to be watching you. It could have been the old boss who, listen, in the past, they offered you an opportunity to stay, right? We've got, hey, let's party, let's have fun. Here's, let me sweeten the deal with my chocolate cake. Let me give you a raise. And you're going, oh no, I really like the options, the better options, the better benefits package this other company gave me. So it could be all that, or maybe you want to be successful. This is a startup company. You're going to be leaving the safety and security of your old job, and you're really going to be risking this new direction that you're going to be taking. So he could mean a lot there, right? Again, safety and security could be on your mind. And here, I see this as somebody that is going to be there and mentoring you, because this guy really is a teacher. He really is a mentor. I think more so than the other ones. I really do. I think the King of Swords just wants to rule the roost. I think that the King of Cups, just wants to sit and, and support you and be kind and caring to you. I think the King of Wands just wants to, rock and roll and do his thing. And you know what? You either get on his wagon or get the hell out of his way, right? But this guy, I think this guy is more of a mentor and more of a teacher. So how can you sabotage your situation? I think by not listening to him, by not taking wise counsel and pay attention. I think he's a force to be reckoned with, but I think that you need to take it upon yourself that, you moved over here for a reason. You came to this company for a reason. So now you need to get as much as you can out of it, right? Again, we talked about environment already. What's the advice here? Again, it could be following wise counsel. Somebody's going to be coming into your life here that, it's all about safety and security and success. And in this position with the rest of these cards, you could almost say you're going to be successful no matter what you do, right? Because this is, if you do nothing different, you're still going to be successful. So how will the job go in the next week? There you go. There's your answer. I hope that was helpful to you in some way. If there's a better way for me to do this for you, please let me know down in the comments. Also, please like this video if you are so inclined, because that's how other people find me. And I also want you to know that these questions that I use in these videos, I have a 600 questions for your tarot practice. You can find it down in the description in my Etsy shop. And trust me, a lot of people buy them because they really are helpful. And I will see you on the next video. It will be the Queens. Bye-bye.